My name is Johnny Gray. It's just a name, and I know that for you it's the same.
Alright, we're getting back into it after helping the historians escape the rather fanatical theological state of Thilame. I'm not sure how they pronounce that kind of weird. I'm not really good at those types of pronunciation. I'll probably stumble over that name a lot. So, apologize for that. Now, amidst taking care of everything for the historians in the last video, I had to mostly finish the mission of smuggling a bunch of weapons onto the ship, which probably isn't going to make the captain real happy. But I'm going to, I guess... You know, before I do that, I'd had a thought last time, and I'm glad I remembered about it, where possibly if instead of immediately going to smuggle weapons aboard the ship and potentially antagonize the Nazis even more, which I really don't want to do. I feel like they're going to be an important faction to be on good terms with, considering they are the ones that have all the ships, and I'm going to an island. So I want to be on good terms with the Nazis. I'm going to try and find their crewmen first, and see if they aren't willing to help me. Okay. Already kind of figured all that out. Oh, that would have been useful to have.
Good day. Someone told me that you were a friend of Jonas, the young cabin boy who was gone missing.
That's right, yeah. Are you looking for him?
Yes. Your captain asked me to go and find him.
Happy to hear he's taken the disappearance seriously. What can I do for you?
When did you last see him?
2 days ago, in the evening. We went to have a drink in the tavern. Jonas, Lauro, and myself.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary? Was he troubled?
Maybe a tad troubled. Like he was somewhere else.
Why would that be? Give me your best guess.
Why? I haven't the faintest idea.
What does Jonas do in his free time, when you're on land?
He just hangs around here or there. You know the cabin boys don't have half a sailor's wages. And when evening comes, we usually go down the tavern with good old Lauro.
Did he ever have one too many?
Never. He sips his pint like it was bad medicine. One drink lasts him the whole night.
Does he know anyone in Serene?
No one, far as I know.
Yeah, it'd amuse me if the prince, my cousin, and the...
Do you think he could have made
off
himself
together.
any enemies?
I wouldn't think that for a moment. Jonas has a good heart and he steers clear of trouble and troublemakers.
I don't know where to start with this. Do you have any idea?
No. Lauro won't stop telling anyone who will lend him an ear that the boy was carried off by thugs.
And you don't believe him?
I like Lauro, don't get me wrong, he's like a brother. But to be honest, he drinks a little more than he should. The itch for a drink gets us all, but to him more than others, and when you drink too much, the imagination wanders. Here, yesterday, it was me who tied one over, and I thought I heard Jonas's voice by the canal. I called back to him, as you guessed, but then nothing. Drink. It blurs the senses.
Maybe not as
What
much
do you
as
think about Captain Vasco?
He's a damn good navigator, and an excellent leader of men. He knows his craft well, in spite of being so young.
How old is he?
He's not seen his 25th year yet. If he keeps it up, he'll be an admiral one day.
I need to be going. Farewell.
Yeah, and I killed a couple of his men and I'm smuggling contraband onto his vessel. That's not the direction I want to be going with Vasco. I really would prefer to stay on good terms with Vasco and the Knots.
Good day, sailor. I've been told that you know the missing cabin boy well. Is that right?
You talking about Jonas? You bet your stars I know him. But like I've been crying to the 9 death winds, he didn't go missing, he was taken.
Were you a witness to the event?
Yes, I was. Even though I'd had a few tumblers in the belly, I hadn't yet lost my head. The other day, in the tavern, I saw him talking to a well-dressed man, surrounded by some other sly ruffians. And then when we left, him and I, Flavia left a little earlier, you understand. Well, those brutes were there, waiting for him. They just up and took him like that. Grabbed his arms and poof, gone. Vanished.
Why didn't you intervene?
I tried to, believe me. But my legs betrayed me. Wavering they were. And I fell into the gutter.
Did you report this to the captain?
Unfortunately not. I know all too well what weight my words carry. Even Flavia treated me like a drunken fool. And the captain? No, not telling him that. I still have some pride left, you get me?
Did Jonas seem troubled to you the night he disappeared?
Maybe. For sure he wasn't his usual self.
Do you know what was on his mind?
No. No idea.
Why would anyone want to snatch a mere cabin boy?
How would I know? Jonas is a gentle boy who keeps his head down. You think my story is nothing but mess too, don't you?
It's just that I can't imagine a gang of thugs hoping to get a ransom for a cabin boy. Did anyone else see the kidnapping?
There was still a small crowd in the tavern. But outside, I seem to recall that regular being there. We play cards with him from time to time. Kind of fellow who plays from morning to night time to be that skilled. But now and again he comes out. When nature calls, you know. I kind of remember his face being there.
What do you think about Captain Vasco?
He's a just man who knows his knots. He's well appreciated by the crew. It's a pity that he hasn't much heart for laughs now and again. Always seems unhappy, our captain.
Thank you, Lauro. I need to be going.
Strange story, this is.
Something isn't right here. I can feel it. We need to lift the veil on this.
Right here. Man, I can just walk up and take a handful of gold off the table, no one bats an eye, huh? Completing quests. In Greedfall, a quest can usually be completed in several different ways. Desardet has more than one string to his bow. Cunning, persuasion, intuition, corruption, creating items from the crafting table will be some of the means available to you to reach your goals. To improve in these areas, spend points on the corresponding talent tree or wear equipment that offers bonuses. Threats in combat are also options when enemies are not receptive to your talents. There he is.
Who are you? I don't recognize you. Am I in your debt?
No, have no fear about that. It's for a different reason that I'm here. I'm looking for a Naut that disappeared 2 days ago, after visiting this establishment. A young cabin boy. 2 members of his crew accompanied him.
Yes, that does ring a bell. I've played with the 3 of them.
What can you tell me about the boy? How was he that night?
He seemed rather nervous, as if he was worried about something. Didn't feel like playing, that I remember. And he must have been right to be nervous, if he's disappeared.
Tell me what happened that evening.
A rich merchant came in, with a band of strong arms. The kind of men you can round up for a few coins, if you catch my drift. They exchanged words with the cabin boy. The kid was defensive, not sitting pretty. And then they finally left.
And after that?
It just so happens that I did go out for a breather. I needed some fresh air. And I think I might well have seen those same men grab him. But that was none of my business. I wouldn't have thought that they were kidnapping him if that's what it was. They weren't particularly rough with him.
Who was the rich merchant, do you think? A jilted lover? A moneylender?
No, my lady, you're in luck. It so happens that I know the man. It was Sir Fontaine, that merchant.
Where can I find him?
He has a house in the wealthy boroughs, just off the canal. A stone's throw from the Theleme embassy.
Thank you. You've been immensely helpful.
This man is completely owned by his love for the game. Do you think we can trust him?
What would he gain from lying?
I have no idea. But what would any wealthy merchant gain from holding a penniless child?
Might I help you, my lady?
I would like to have a word with Sir Fontaine.
He is absent, but the lady of the house could certainly receive you. Enter, please.
Oh, I know you. I've seen you at court. You are Lady de Sade. And to what do I owe the honor of your visit, Excellency?
I would like to have a word with your husband.
He is not here, but perhaps I could be of help.
It concerns a delicate matter. We are looking for a missing cabin boy. According to witnesses, he had an argument with your husband before being taken.
I see. I am afraid that you have been misled. You seem to have come to the wrong conclusion. The cabin boy you speak of was not taken. He has simply returned home.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand.
Don't you see, Your Excellency? We got our son back.
I am very surprised. Several witnesses confirmed that your son had a fight with your husband, and that his men escorted him from the tavern using force. If he had joined your husband willingly...
Witnesses? In a tavern? And you choose to believe these drunkards over a respectable family?
These witnesses are all in agreement, and it is their testimonies that have led me to your doorstep.
My son was probably shocked to have found us. My husband and the other men might have simply had to carry him. A gesture that your drunkards must have misunderstood.
Interesting. Something smells a bit odd about all this.
How did you find your son's trail?
We have never stopped looking for him. We learned the new name they gave him, Jonas. My poor little Celestine. Then we learned the name of the ship he sailed on. No sooner had it docked in Serene than my husband had the crew watched closely, and we found him.
Where might I find your son now?
I cannot say, Excellency. You must understand why. Until the Naughts have set sail, we live in fear they will take him back from us.
This pact... It sounds like some fear-inducing story.
The Naughts wouldn't be the first to recruit through dubious means.
She's not giving me any real details that make me confident. Now I need to talk to him after hurting
Madam,
her reputation.
you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear. I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
I'm still without news of my cabin boy, but we will have to do without.
I spoke with a woman who told me she was the mother of the cabin boy. She claims that her son was taken from her.
Finally,
Taken?
showing some
Her son is sea-gifted. His parents were required to give him up to honor the terms of a contract.
A contract? But what kind of contract are we speaking of?
A commercial contract. In exchange for services rendered by the Naughts, some families cede more than gold. In some cases, nations even trade some of their subjects before they're born. I wouldn't be able to tell you the condition of Jonas's contract. I didn't even know he was originally from Serene. But what I can tell you is the young man hasn't seen his parents since he was a small child. And ever since, he's been a Nord. Our ships are his home, and we are his only family.
Be back soon, Captain.
You see anyone else who might be able to help us? Anyone who's not a Naut?
Sir de Corsilion is a veritable well of scientific knowledge. He could tell us a little more.
These are so far. There we are.
But I still don't see Constantine at your side. I hope he hasn't been the victim of any foul play.
Don't worry. We'll find him in time for departure.
I certainly hope so. Would you be in need of my help in any way?
I've had a word with Lady Fontaine. You must know her. That rich family that lives near the docks. She told me a strange story about her son who was a cabin boy on our ship. She said that he was taken when he was a child, due to some contract with the Nords.
Who was a cabin boy? Do you mean he's no longer one?
They took him back to bring him home.
Well, that is very unpleasant news, de Sade. We need to do all we can to bring the boy back to his ship. Since time immemorial, there's always been a certain price to pay for the services of the Nords. Children born on their ships belong to them. It's the rule of the sea. But certain contracts are so important that they also require children to be offered in exchange. From time to time, the congregation has passed such accord, and certain noble families had to give their children up.
Are you telling me that the Fontaines lost their son in an agreement signed between my uncle and the Nords?
No. That pact ended a long time ago. This cabin boy couldn't have been a part of that contract. But Sir Fontaine has made a fortune trading with the Alliance, via ships.
Do you mean he would have offered up his own son in exchange for wealth?
Well, he probably did it before the birth of the child, and regretted it afterwards. But that is of little importance. What counts most is that you bring the boy back to the Nords as quickly as possible. Breaking a contract with the seafarers has always cost us dearly. Our nation could feel it in its coffers.
I will do my best.
A father selling his own son for a few boat rides. For ugly, that is ugly.
Lady Fontaine didn't seem to have any knowledge of that detail. That could be of use to us.
At the end of the day, the guy's lived his whole life on the ocean with the knots at this point. The why of it coming to pass is pretty ugly. But I also don't get the impression that based on what I've heard in the tavern, he actually wanted to come back. He was removed by force. Whether or not they're a little bit delicate with him as to not hurt him, he was still removed by force. And I kind of take exception to that.
This document mentions another property. A warehouse.
That would be a great place to hide. Shall we take a picture?
Try and do what we can to free Jonas without murdering everyone this time. Legitimately without murdering everyone this time. You know, last time I said I didn't want to murder everyone, I murdered everyone. That seems like it'll lead to me murdering.
Here we are. Be careful. Fontaine won't be alone. He'll have his henchmen with him.
about this game I do kind of wish was a little different is that if you opened the door, it just kind of opened the door, not made you immediately step through. It just makes it a little uncomfortable. Stealth elements when you don't know what's on the other side, and you have to walk all the way through immediately. Have a bit of a hardship here. Ooh, 3 guards, and it looks like good Lord of the Manor himself. I feel as though it's time for me to go kill everybody.
To me, gods! Take no prisoners! To my house! And death to the other! Who sees my saber? Move away! Things are about to get dicey! They broke your armor! Be careful!
Alright. Well. Really wasn't what I was looking to do. I mean it. I know me constantly saying I don't want to kill everybody and then walking in and killing everybody is unconvincing.
Locked.
Who are you?
My name is Desardet. I'm legate of the congregation. Your captain has sent me to find you.
And were you able to convince my father to allow me to go free?
I'm extremely sorry to have to tell you this, Jonas. He preferred to fight to the death rather than allow you to leave. He left me no choice.
How tragic. The poor man. What madness overcame him? And the woman, my mother. She'll be all alone now.
You don't seem to be all that close to your parents.
I hadn't seen them since I was 5 years old. I barely remember them. They find me, capture me, and lock me up in this warehouse. Hard to grow close after all that. My family is the Naughts. I am sorry for my parents, but that is the way of it now. Can I go home?
Yes. You should still go and say farewell to your mother. Then find your way to your ship. I will see you there.
Well, I really didn't want to have to kill the guy. I don't think that's gonna end well for me. I highly expect I'm gonna have to pay some consequences for that later on down the road. Just butchered the head of a noble household. Not at all the way I wanted that to go. I think when I hit rank 5, maybe I should have just gone front. He seemed really inclined to talk to me anyways. I think once I hit rank 5, I'm going to
Find all you need in our selection!
so that way I can stop having to murder everybody when I need to get in someplace discreetly. I'm gonna go talk to the captain. That'll wrap up this video. Glad to see that finally was able to help out Jonas. Hoping this makes it so I don't have to.
Madam, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Without
Have no
captain's
fear.
permission,
I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure.
onto the ship.
Is everything ready?
My cabin boy, Jonas, is back on ship. I have you to thank, I imagine.
You do. It's a rather sad affair, and though solved, leaves a broken family behind.
All we can do is plot a course. No one tells the wind what to do. I do thank you. I didn't think you'd go to so much trouble for a cabin boy. Your actions bring you honor.
But I also just repaired my reputation with the knots a little bit.
Be back soon, Captain.
I honestly would prefer... I'm gonna do one more thing thinking about it since it's nearby. And that, you know, manner is opening quarters here.
Captain, milady, we were given orders to wait here with the merchandise.
The way is clear. It's time to get going.
Do your best to be quick and quiet about it. You won't have much time to move it all.
Don't you be worrying now. We're off.
The warehouse is at the end to the right there. You can't miss it.
Move out. Quick steps.
Coin guard. I got a reputation. There, go talk to... Yeah, I will talk to the coin guard captain in the next video. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Made some progress. Seems like most of the side quests are done at this point. And when I pick it up next time, I'm gonna do my best to get out of Serene and get onto the ship. Thank you for joining me. Please feel free to comment and subscribe if you want to keep up with my content. Ring the bell. Thank you very much.